What is going on, everybody? I am back with another video where I am sharing one of my life experiences and turning it around into motivation for you all. So today's topic is all about thinking twice while a person speaks once. All right, and just to sum that up for everybody watching right now, that just means reading in between the lines. All right, trying to make sure you understand or you understood what a person said when they said it the very first time. Now, the reason why I benefit from this is because many people have different ways of communicating, especially if they're from a different area, a different country, a different state, or a different region, right? So it's important to kind of understand who you're speaking to and understand who is speaking to you for the most part, but that might not always be easy. Reading in between the lines can be very tricky because you have to make sure you understand your emotions. You have to understand whether a person is trying to offend you or disrespect you, or if they're really just cracking a joke. You know what I mean? Because it's all relative. Some things are funny to others and other things are just completely disrespectful and despicable to others, right? So you have to really know yourself and make sure you understood what was being said and what they meant or what the other person meant by it before you get ahead of yourself. So controlling your emotions is really the big thing when it comes to that. That's the first part, because you got to understand yourself before you even think to understand the other person. And that's how you'll know what is disrespectful or what is funny when it comes to yourself personally and your mental and where you are in your life, right? So, certain things can come off as personal and some things can just mean nothing to you. So you have to know how you feel and you have to be rational about it. Understand how you feel, but don't let your emotions take over. With that being said, that's neither here nor there, because reading in between the lines or thinking twice while a person speaks once can be pretty innocent. It doesn't have to be so dangerous. It doesn't have to be offensive. For example, when I listen to rap music or hip hop music or any type of music, the artists always have certain bars or they have certain metaphors or similes that just shoot out, that just hit you. You know what I mean? Like when I'm listening to music, I always want to make sure I get it the very first time. I don't want to be that person that is surrounded by people and everybody's saying, ooh, and ah, like, they got it right away. And I'm just sitting there like, what did he say? What did he mean? Think about it. If anybody watches battle rap, or if you listen to your favorite hip hop artist or your favorite singer, everybody has certain metaphors and certain, similes or ways that they express themselves to their fan base, right? I could say, keep your head on the swivel. A person might not think about what a swivel is, and someone might not understand that I mean watch your back. Keep your eyes, be observant. Keep your eyes on everything. Make sure nothing creeps up on you. You know what I mean? And someone else might think, oh, is their head literally on a swivel? You know what I mean? They may think it's a literal term, and that's just a big misunderstanding. If I say keep your head on the swivel, and I'm looking out for somebody, and those are my intentions, I want them to understand that they need to watch their back, because I'm not there to help them watch their back, and they're going to be by themselves. So they need to make sure they're in a position of safety at all times. I may also say, be like water. I heard this in a recent song. Be like water, let it flow, right? But water doesn't only flow, water also crashes. Water is also still. Water can also be calm. Water can also nourish, can hydrate. So there's different forms, right? There's different forms that water presents itself. Think about poetry. If you read poetry, everyone has their own ways of interpreting what the poet said based on how they looked at it or how they understood it. But some poets actually tell you what they meant when they wrote what they wrote, right? And then there's some poets that may say it's for everybody else to decipher on their own. Whatever they take from it is what they take from it. So it's important to actually think twice while a person is actually speaking once, whether you're reading what they said, whether they are telling you something like a metaphor or analogy. And that's also when someone is showing you their actions, right? Someone's actions can really tell you what they want to do, can really tell you how they feel and where they want to be and things like that, because words can mean anything, right? Words is a huge thing. Trust me, don't get me wrong. Words is very important, but someone's actions can definitely tell you how they felt about you and what they want to do to you. It can all lead up. And sometimes the person's actions towards you could be fatal, or sometimes it could be something that you caught from the beginning. And that's what I'm trying to promote. Like I'm saying, when someone is doing something or saying something, you want to understand what they meant when they said it. Now it's up to me to educate myself on what the person was meaning to say when they said what they said, so that I could pick something up from it, so that I can take something from it, or so that I can relate to it, right? So thinking twice while a person speaks once could also mean that they're trying to shoot you, give you something in code, right? They're trying to make sure they are explaining something to you without telling everybody else around you. That's another way. Someone could be giving you a code, and then you're like, I don't understand what they said, but they really needed you to get what they said so that they could help you move forward, or so that they can give something to you or express something to you without another person figuring out what they meant. You know what I mean? Like, another funny story, my mom, my aunties on my mom's side, her sisters, my grandmother, when I was young, they will always spell out words. They would spell out words instead of saying the actual word out loud. And it was funny because every time they said a word, or every time they spelled it out, I would try to pick up every single letter right away so that I can figure out what they meant. And, it was always funny because it was like we didn't go to school. It was like we was not quick enough to pick up on the letters that they were spelling out. They were speaking in code, and I was thinking more than once actually while they spoke. I was thinking more than once while they spoke once, right? I was thinking 3 times, 4 times, 5 times while they spoke once, because it was really not none of my business what they were saying, and that's what they were telling me. They're saying, DeMarcus, it's none of your business. So I'm gonna spell out this word, and don't you ask about what I'm saying, because there's a reason why I'm not telling you, and I'm not talking to you. So for me, I tried to finesse that and pick up every single letter, because they will spell it pretty fast too. So I'll probably miss a letter or miss a few letters and while I'm trying to understand what they meant, but it would be to my grandmother, to my mom, or my mom to my auntie, or my auntie to another auntie. It would just be them trying to speak in code so that us kids wouldn't understand what they were trying to say to one another. Think about comedians. When you go see them in person or watch them on a Hulu or Netflix, think about how they have so many jokes, and in order for you to enjoy yourself, in order for you to laugh, you have to understand what they mean when they say something. So that's why they probably may lead up to a joke with a story, right? They lead up to the joke with a situation in their lives or a situation with another person, and they just hit you. And that's where the laughter comes. That's where the joy comes from. So that's the reward. When someone is rapping in a rap song or singing a song and they use a metaphor or a simile or an analogy, you want to get it right away. You want it to hit you. You want to feel that. When someone is saying a joke, you want to be able to understand that joke. You want to be able to laugh, right? But at the same time, if you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask and try to understand what they meant. When I hear a rap song and I don't understand that bar, I will rewind it, or I will go look into those lyrics and make sure I understood what the person was saying, because I want to understand the entire song as much as possible. And also understand if it's your business or not. Someone could be speaking in code to another person about you, or they may have something that's embarrassing. If you understood what they said, keep it to yourself. Don't go up and ask them, hey, what did you mean when you said that? I know, and that person's going to be like, I wasn't talking to you. Why are you all up in my mouth? That's what, certain people I know would say to another person, like, why are you in my mouth? Why you all up in my business? You know what I mean? So I feel the same way. If I'm speaking in code to somebody and someone on the outside is trying to figure out what I said, they ask me, I'm really thinking, it's not for you. Especially if you didn't understand it. It wasn't for you. I don't want to explain what I meant, because I spoke in code for a reason. So, that's the thing. Think twice while another speaks once. You'll know exactly, if you just listen to them, you'll definitely understand what they meant. You'll understand their intentions, whether good or bad. So keep that in mind. That's my advice for you all today. Always think twice while a person speaks once. Read in between the lines. Make sure you understand, because the way things are going in society nowadays, it seems like you can't say what you really want to say without hurting someone's feelings. So I think speaking in code is one of the best ways, or, saying jokes that are indirect to another person or a group of people is one of the best ways to communicate. That's the way people have been communicating for a long time anyways, even with their hands. Sign language is a great way. Not many people know how to speak sign language, but that's a great way to speak in code, not just for the deaf, but just in general. So that's important. Read in between the lines. Think twice while a person speaks once, and make sure you understand and just keep moving. Fix that, put all the pieces together, make sure you understand it, especially before you get upset. And I think you will be all right. I'll be all right. I definitely understood that at a very young age, and I continue to try to read in between the lines. Not too far into it, but I definitely want to understand what is being said, especially if it's not straightforward, especially if it's not black or white. If it's in a gray area, I want to understand what this could have meant, and if they meant it in another way, I want to understand what they meant. So that's my take on that. Keep thinking twice, read in between the lines, make sure you understand. And that's my video for today. Y'all be easy. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Don't be afraid to, show some support. Tell me what you thought about this. And I'll see y'all next time. Y'all be easy.